beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap content. What's up? What's up? What's up, beautiful people? It's Pretty Girl Love Trap content, and we are here another evening. Okay, BMF, the documentary Blowing Money Fast, episode 8, which is also the finale. Okay, so they wrapped it up in a cute little bow, I must say. There are a few little things that I wish I would have saw or experienced during this documentary, but I'm gonna leave that for later on after we review this episode. But before we get into things, make sure you please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. Make sure you in the comments, if you're watching a replay, let me know your thoughts and how you felt about this episode and the entire documentary in its entirety. And yes, make sure we in the chat having fun if you catching the live. All right, we have Kendall and Demarcus. How y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight? Okay, y'all ready to get into this? I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. We're gonna just breeze on what they had give us. Okay, what they had gave us. All right. Oh gosh. So y'all, we pretty much start off and they're stating that BMF is pretty much a rags to riches to ratchet this or wretchedness, if you will. And it's a success story on some level, but at the end of the day, they got caught up. And we have Meech, of course, reporting, low-key live. Just kidding, not live, but he's reporting via telephone from the feds, and he's pretty much saying, it's funny, regardless of who the person is, whatever walk of life they come from, poor or rich, they all aspire to have that Tony Montana lifestyle, just the glitz and the glory of, selling that cocaine, okay? But they don't want the troubles of Tony Montana. They don't want to ride the full roller coaster. They just want to go to the highs. They don't want to experience the lows, and, that's pretty much facts, but that goes all into like what type of drug dealer you are, how smart you are, okay? Can you get away with what you're doing? You doing marvelous, Kendall. That's good. I'm doing good. I am so ready for this week to be over. I ain't even gonna lie to you, hon. This has been a long one, but I'm blessed. You said they had a 20-year run, which is rare. Exactly. And it could have went longer if they would have made a few other moves, if your boy T, threw away a couple of the phones, if, Meech skipped a few nights in the club, I'm sure they could have went a little further. But I mean, how much growth what they have been able to experience? They already had US on lock. I know other countries are weird. They don't really like us impeding on their territory. So who knows? They could have been, in Canada moving that work. We don't know. But they went hella far. They are acclaimed to be, the top, crack cocaine, I guess, cocaine dealers in the United States at one point. So it's definitely history being made and being told. All right. So, it's October 2005, and the lawyer, he said he was contacted by Meech. Meech said he wants him to, represent him because Meech got caught up, They got Meech. They did an illegal search on a house that he was renting. They found a blicky up in the safe. And, the lawyer was like, something ain't clean in the milk. You know what I'm saying? And he's pretty much, based on his, recollection, it seems like the lawyer is, I don't know if he's trying to play like he didn't know who Meech was, or he was just oblivious. You know what I'm saying? Because he stated a few times where he was like, I had no idea that the police thought of him in that way, or that he had this reputation, or they was doing this and that. I'm like, don't you have your ear to the streets, Drew? If not, I'm sure you got enough money to have people reporting to you. Come on. Stop playing with me, Drew. I know you got some clients that kind of want to shave off, get a rollback price, a discount, or a coupon for exchange of information. Come on, Drew. You ain't know. You ain't know. Hey, Detroit, what's up? Thank you for coming through. Kendall, you said why Meech went to Texas of all places got me a little baffled. Kendall says it's called a selective memory, pretty girl, for real. Everybody got a little bit of that up in here, okay? But I'm gonna try to let it rock, okay? But he was saying the search was illegal. And he got wind that there was actually a 42-person indictment that Meech was included in Detroit. So Meech wanted him to represent him in whatever he had going on in Texas and in Detroit. And they pretty much were trying to keep the Detroit, indictment away from Meech. They pretty much were stating that the little case situation in Texas was just to kind of hold Meech, in place to, serve him up to the big dogs, if you will. But yes, 42 people, y'all. 42 people, okay? And yes, this was a nice house. If this is a picture of the actual house that he was in, I was like, oh, you got some nice accommodations, Meech. I ain't mad at you, bruh. So yeah, we have, a little map they provided which shows different people getting caught up, across the, US. We have your boy William Marshall. We're going to get into him a little later. But yeah, we got people in Charlotte, or at least one person in Charlotte that got, that thing, name on the paper, you know what I'm saying? And we got Orlando on the map, Atlanta. They don't have anybody specifically. I think William Marshall, I think that's the arrow is going to him possibly. But yes, pretty much the organization is going down on some level because we're getting people from all of the states, all of the area codes per Ludacris, okay? Not the good area codes though. So we have, J-Bo pretty much, recalling how, when he got the news about the indictment, he was like, yeah, I know they're going to come for my. He said he didn't know what to do because he's the underboss. So it's like, what do? Do you keep business flowing per use, or do you just chill? Like, you can't really call your boss and be like, all right, boss, what should I do? I don't know. When Meech said he didn't write anything, but maybe Terry had, some, policies and procedures written down in case something like this were to happen. I don't know. And we have Clifford here. He was a BMF member. He was saying, he was stressed out. He was experiencing anxiety. Like he was over there, he just had a rash of emotions and not knowing what's going to happen because with a bus like this, since BMF is so huge, J-Bo is the underboss. So I know he probably was like, it's just a matter of time. But, if you were, maybe, I don't know how high in the totem pole Clifford was, but, sometimes you may think you may be able to escape situations, depending on, what the evidence is saying. But yeah, it's real stressful over there on them streets. If you if you feel like you about to get, no nice bracelets on your wrist. Kendall said the indictment didn't have anything to do with Meech being connected to drugs, only how he partied, aka balled out in the clubs. Yeah, we gonna get to that as well. So they kind of break down what continuing criminal enterprise is, and we have Frank, who's an IRS agent. He's pretty much breaking down, what that means in terms of Terry and Meech. Long story short, continuing criminal enterprise is low key like a law, if you will. And it includes the fact that if you are proven to have at least 5 people in the organization underneath you, and that you're pretty much calling the shots and the boss of this organization, and if you are moving 150 plus kilos, you may get indicted under this specific law or precedents, if you will. And Terry and Meech, they were only two that qualified, if you will, for this type of charge, since they were, considered the bosses of the organization. And this was hella hilarious to me, y'all. Meech was cracking me the F up on this phone. Like, he was getting it out. And it just really, to me, shined a light on how a lot of the conversations probably happened um, during this time, or, just in his head. T, he was saying T, he liked to talk on the effing phone. Like, that's the difference between him and I. Anything that was written down, it was my brother's. I don't like writing down no nicknames, no nothing. Like, he's pretty much saying, like, I don't do no ledgers, I don't do no phone calls. So he's pretty much like, yeah, T got caught slipping. I still feel like a little bit of like festivity coming from Meech, like in his hort and whatnot. I mean, I probably would be pissed too. But yeah, he was making it very clear, okay? None of the true evidence came from his doing, okay? T was over there talking on the phone all day long, okay? Oh Lord, the most careful one, supposedly. This is kind of sad, y'all. I was kind of upset. But the lawyer said there was about 14,000 pages of evidence that was presented, and he was going through the evidence and realized pretty much most of the evidence that they got on Meech was him partying with celebrities, throwing parties, seemingly looking like a club promoter, okay? Because Meech told you a few episodes ago, there's no crime against balling, okay? Y'all just mad over there, okay? Y'all mad. Y'all gotta pay for y'all one little beer, and I'm over here popping the bottles and with the models, okay? So that's kind of funny to me that y'all didn't really have nothing on this man, and y'all pretty much end up charging him the same. Lord Jesus Christ. Damn. Oh, Lord, shout out to Esther Roll, child. Oh, yes, 14,000 of them. Thanks. Hey, Inga, what's up, boo? How are you? Thank you for coming through. Yes, Kendall, I know you was over there laughing. I was keying when your boy was over there. Talk about his brother. All right. Kendall said, so it's a crime to party and pop bottles. I mean, he tried to tell y'all it's not a crime, okay? So they said, you know what? We need a few things to occur to really let Meech and T really go down with some concrete evidence, okay? So they realized that Doc Marshall, who pretty much handled all the finances through his, exquisite, luxury car business, he pretty much saw himself as the CFO of the organization. They smelt it on this man. They said he not about that life. He ain't gangster. He don't got a thug bone in his body. So we gonna get his ass, okay? And yeah, Doc Marshall eventually, I think they said 2006 of March, he ended up handing over all of the evidence against Terry and Meech, which pretty much solidifies money laundering cases, on them. And I had this question a few episodes ago, like when in Detroit, if you're still in here, please enlighten me. But when Terry and Meech split up, how did they go about dividing up the territories? Like, was like, all right, I'm gonna have the East Coast on lock, you do the West Coast. Like, I want to know logistically how that occurred in terms of like them still making their money. Because, J-Bo mentioned a few episodes ago that him and Meech would get their work from Terry. I guess because Terry, he handled the logistics. He was, correlating with Green Eyes, who was their connect. So I'm just trying to understand, because they was going 50-50 on the bricks. Of course, Terry, he got caught cutting the bricks. to make more money for himself. But I just want to understand the conversations and the logistics on how they actually really just went down and split the territory up into their two organizations. I'm nosy. I'm sorry. I just want to know. I want to know what's going on. Oh, God. Shout out to Joe. Hey, Kendall. Always a weak link amongst you men. Yeah. Yeah, I saw how they did Omari. Omari folded. He over there folded like a little chair at the cookout. We're going to let that go. We're going to keep him over there episode 7 or 6, whenever we was talking about him. Hey, Inga, you said I need to watch the last episode. I think I might be one episode behind. Okay, that's okay, boo. That's okay, but thank you for still coming here and checking me out. You inquisitive too. Yes, Kendall. Like, I feel like I said, I feel like this is a high level overview. Like, all of the information I really wanted to know was not in this doc. Don't get me wrong, I learned a lot, but I'm just too nosy for this like high level outline. Like, I need to know the nitty and the gritty. And maybe Meech is working on a book, maybe a movie. I'm sure he got some things planned, because at this point he solidified himself so much into the culture. He can do a few different things when he comes out in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing. You know, he got his son playing him. He can actually do, you know, a real record label if he wanted to. I know we got to have to be smart, because I feel like we got to have some money stacked up somewhere in somebody's house in the backyard. I don't know. I'm just hoping. But, you know, we got to be smart on how we do things. But he could also, you know, get book deals. You know, cool with 50 Cent. So I know he could hook him up, you know, with some deals. So I definitely feel like Meech can definitely turn the business even more legit and have more ideas when he comes out, because they did mention that in the end. But another domino effect that occurred is Father Flenory. Okay, Charles Flenory, he was listed on, you know, on the deed, on the paperwork, in one of the houses that they purchased in Atlanta, and I believe the early 90s. So they got him on money laundering. I'm like, dang. Like, I already knew the father got caught up, but I feel like I researched this before when the show first came out, and I can't recall if I got the answer in Detroit or whoever's in here. Y'all let me know if y'all know. But did the father, I don't think the father served any time, because I think part of the deal of them copying pleas is for the father and some other people to get off. Like, I don't necessarily know how all of that works, okay? But I'm interested to know if the father served jail time. But I feel like no. But don't quote me. I feel like he did pass, I feel, several years ago. But I'm just curious to know. But they got daddy over there on some money laundering situations, okay? Hey, Kendall, yes. That would be smart, but I don't know if that's too risky too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you can't really be traced, it can't really be confiscated. But I feel like if they do, it gotta be in somebody's name that ain't really linked to them, or that nobody knows that they're linked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be done very smartly. Because is smartly a word, y'all? I don't know. Whatever. It's a word up in the trap. I know that. All right, DeMarcus, you said I can't believe Big Meech house was in his father's name. You know, come on, in my mama's name, cause I'm. Come on, you don't know nothing about the Big Thomas. Got everything in my mama's name. Well, in my daddy's name. Stop playing. You know what we do in the culture. We be having light bills and our names at the age of 3. You surprised that Meech ain't never had a job, never had a W-2, never had a tax refund. Put something in his daddy name. Come on, DeMarcus, you playing with me. You playing with me. There's no way. No way. Oh my God. But yes, daddy got caught up in the paperwork. Hey, Ray, what's up? How are you? Long time no see. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all liking that video too. This video, I should say. Hey, Kendall, it's got to be in a country where there's no extradition and can't be seized by the U.S. Exactly. And I'm sure they know. They be knowing. They smart. All right. So Detroit, 2007, the first day of trial. Now, this is interesting to me because I didn't think this was allowed. I'm sure it's not like a common thing, but the brothers requested to meet face to face to have a little talky talk. Okay. And so typically I feel like this isn't allowed because this can kind of help them, corroborate and collab on their stories. But at this point, there's so much evidence, it probably didn't matter. They was like, all right, for shits and giggles, y'all go ahead and have y'all little brotherly talk before y'all go down, because y'all ain't gonna be able to see each other for a very long time in person. So, y'all, this was another point in this episode. I was cracking the F up. Y'all, they was trying to get Terry to take a plea because pretty much most of the evidence is on Terry. You know what I'm saying? He was over there on the phone, yappity yapping, okay? And Meech was like, well, telling him like, I'm about to take the plea, even though none of this ain't really on me, bruh. This kind of low-key your fault, even though I feel like they low-key both to blame and so on some level on getting caught. But Terry said, no, I'm gonna take this into trial. Because I'm gonna go with God. He said, well, God told me. He told me to tell you to take this plea because our parents don't want us up in here doing life. Why y'all using the Lord name? Why y'all playing with God now? That was so funny. Like, Meech, he's definitely showing his comedic side. Like, come on, let's free Meech and get him, on a comedy show, okay? Something. Def Comedy Jam reboot. I don't know, but this Negro is hilarious to me, okay? Child, take this 30 years, stop playing with us. At least we have a coming home date. Yeah, we're going to be looking like Claude and them from Life, but it's okay. And these pictures of me, she's looking pretty good. Like a young, 60-something years old. He like almost about 60 possibly. I'm sure he's in his, he went in, he was like his late 30s. He's done about, so yeah, he about in his 50s, he's steady in that gym, DeMarcus said, I'm glad that Terry and Meech didn't flip one together. Yeah, that was another thing. Like, they started apparently arguing during their little face-to-face, and, they was able to hear them in the courtroom. And so, the journalist was pretty much stating that, he was sitting next to a lot of DAs and what have you. And they was kind of like, oh, yeah, Terry's going to flip on Meech. I'm like, why would y'all think that? Like, these ain't your average drug dealers, okay? These aren't your average, street pharmacists, street entrepreneurs, okay? They not about to fold that quick. Like, y'all think they built this huge organization just to flip on each other? Like, they not doing that. I never thought, don't get me wrong. I wasn't there. I'm not in their brain. But I wouldn't have thought that. I don't know. They was hilarious to me. Yes, Kim, you said, well, God told me. What's up, Brillo? Thank you for coming through. Like, I don't know. I know Terry was pissed off. This is a bougie Negro, okay? This is a bougie one. So I know he did not want to change his accommodations, okay? He probably had him a good Serta mattress in that mansion. He did not want to trade in for a cot. I know this man did not want to trade all those, lobster tails for some oodles and noodles. I know that. But I had no inkling in my thuggery of a hort that he was gonna snitch on his brother. Because at the end of the day, most of the evidence was on him anyway. So it's like, what sense does that make? And the mother said, I didn't feel like, my sons would snitch on each other. But according to the mom, she be having selective memory too. Take that with a grain of salt. Take that with a grain of salt, y'all. Oh my God. T over there thinking about God. And then the lawyer had the nerve to say that, the fact that they didn't want to take the plea, he was prepared to go to prom but he didn't get to go to the prom. I said, yeah, because you wanted to run that bill up, sir. He was probably hella upset. He probably had plans. Oh, I'm gonna get me a new boat. I'm gonna go ahead. I got a little, they like the little vacation homes. Okay, he probably had everything set, but when he found out that old boy was wanting to take the plea, he was like, "Dang, I was about to run you up for another 6 months. What I'm about to do?" I said, "You got on our television, our tablets, our laptops, our phones, and had the nerve to say, I didn't get to go to the prom." Like, sir, how much you think that you was going to get out? Like, how successful do you think this trial would have been? Like, for real. Oh, Lord. Long story short, September 2008, Meech and Terry was both sentenced to 30 years. And now I understand, we got money laundering, we got drug dealing. There's a lot of things going on, but maybe it's just the thug adjacentness of me. I'm making up words tonight. That's a lot of years, y'all. Like, we ain't hurt nobody, ain't gonna hurt nobody. Like, we ain't kill nobody. Like, I mean, well, let me take that. We wasn't violent necessarily to anybody because, of course, crack kills. But at the end of the day, well, do crack kill because I be knowing crackheads that be living longer than people who don't do crack. So that's up for debate. Crack is whack, but it may not completely kill off rip, okay? Unless you got the bag cracking. I think their work was pretty solid. Kendall said, that lawyer was on that Davis McClain. Facts. Okay. He was like, I need to just take this one case. I'll be good. Hey, Inga, I'm going to rewatch the first season of BMF so I can really be ready for season. Yeah, that was my plan. I started watching episode 1, but during like the little Christmas break, I'm definitely going to rewatch season 1 to kind of remember everything. I might have like a little, just a catch up cram session show for us to kind of make sure, we remember everything. But I'm definitely going to probably be planning that around the first of the year. Hey, Jacoby, what's up? Remember what Tariq said. What did he say? Legal drugs kill more than illegal drugs. Those are facts. Preaching to the choir. I was thinking about that too, DeMarcus. Young Canaan crack kills, but that's a whole nother story. Kendall said at least they weren't charged with killing someone technically. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Technically, we got to use these type of words and this jargon, okay? When we talking about the legalities of it all. Let me drink some water, child. Oh, child. Your girl getting all tongue twisted and whatnot. All right. So, yes. And they were also stating that, no one showed up for the, the hearing of Meech. I'm like, I don't know, like, if I would really be mad at that because they were surrounding themselves with other drug dealers. So if I'm a drug dealer or if I'm affiliated with BMF, I for damn sure ain't showing up to the sentencing. For what? Because you know darn well they probably got cameras and everything, even though it may not have been publicized. Well, if they're their own records, they're probably taking snapshots and remember every face that comes up in that courtroom that looks suspect. So why would y'all really expect people to be showing support? Now, in the perfect world, that would be nice. But in the perfect world, we wouldn't be caught up in these 30 years. So, but I was like, y'all, come on, y'all about that life. Y'all shouldn't really be upset nobody really showed up. I'm just saying. Who would y'all wanted to show up? Megan Good, the Brat, and Scrappy, and Jeezy and them? Is that who y'all talking about? But we have one of his homies, Troy. He was saying, he felt that Meech was pretty much, probably relieved on some level about getting caught. He's saying, it was stressful and, he was tired of running. You get tired. Because one of the other gentlemen, I believe Wayne, he stated when Meech and Terry got caught up and got arrested, He was on a run for 4 months. Okay. And he said he was on that bottle heavy. Okay. He was stressed out, paranoid, cue Scarface, my mind playing tricks on me. He was going through all of those things. So I can imagine it's very stressful. But you know what's one thing that I wanted more of? We touched on it a little bit on a previous episode, but I really wanted them or Meech to really kind of talk about, and he may be saving this for a book or whatever, but I really wanted him to really delve into the negative effects of his lifestyle. You know, we got all the glitz and glamour, but they mentioned, that he was having trouble sleeping at night and going through, just night sweats. But I wanted Meech himself to let us know, like, how stressful it was, or, just the day to day, just what he had to go through. Because, he had a good life, but I mean, 24/7, he probably wasn't, all hunky dory. So I just wanted a little more into the mentality of it, in terms of, how Meech, was struggling, not necessarily the glory days, but at least during the day of the trial. But at the same time, he seemed pretty optimistic as a whole. And maybe he just didn't want to or don't want to really reveal that vulnerable part of himself. But me personally, I would have enjoyed hearing a little more about, just the negative part of drug dealing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a few TV shows where we see people stressed out. We have Snowfall or what have you, but this is a real life situation. So I definitely would have appreciated more about the negative effects that, if they affected him physically, just me being nosy again. Kendall, you said showing up puts a target on you. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Why I'm gonna show up? Hey, I'm a drug dealer too. Y'all come get me. Come get me after y'all sentence my man over there. What? That don't make no damn sense. Jacoby, you said power update tomorrow. Oh, what power update? What am I missing? What's going on in these streets, y'all? I'm a little out of touch. Okay, your girl been kind of busy. But they have White Boy Rick. He's been showing up throughout the series, and he pretty much stated, like, for a non-violent offender, 30 years is way too much. He served 32 years, and I believe just for drugs. Don't quote me. I'm not sure if there was any gun charges or any other things. I didn't look up his specifics. I did watch the movie, but it was a while ago. But yeah, he was stating, he's definitely not for these long sentencing. When it comes to Meech and Terry, he even wore a free Big Meech shirt after his release, and he was like, I couldn't wear 2 shirts. I was like, White Boy Rick, you could have put, and T at the bottom of that T-shirt. Stop playing. Stop playing. But it seems as though, just from the outside looking in, that Meech was probably the more likable and approachable of the two. I don't know. But White Boy Rick also mentioned, running this type of drug organization is similar to running a Fortune 500 company. Like, there's a lot going on. And for you to run this organization, Meech and Terry, for Meech as well, mainly because he wasn't taking anything down. He wasn't writing anything. So it's pretty much a game of goddamn telephone on his end. Like, that's pretty awesome that you were able to, run an organization in general without having to write anything down or use any sort of technology, if you will. We know Terry was over there writing novels and, talking all the minutes away. All the minutes. Was this the time where, we had to have free minutes after 7 or 9? Somebody call you at 5, you was like, girl, call me after 9 when my minutes free. Is this the time? I mean, I know he didn't care about the phone bill or whatnot, but a sister like me, I'm like, you're not running my 700 minutes. Nope. And I only got 250 text messages playing. So yeah, you can't be texting me up a storm either. Y'all, we came a long way. Hey, Kendall, you said no one ever wears free tea. They probably all still mad at T. They're still mad. The market said Doc Marshall gave up information that Meech didn't pay taxes. Yeah, both of them. It was wild. Y'all. Oh my God. So yes, it was a lot going on. And then we had Rand over Raggedy behind, he was the assistant DA that they was interviewing. He was like pretty much stating that yeah, he had to send out about 2,000 letters to non-defendants that were caught on the wire. Child, it would have been a lot of copy and pasting up in there. Okay, well, no, I'm good. He probably lied, and he probably ain't sent all the 2,000. I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he did send all the 2,000s. Then his little smart behind gonna say, "Well, we kind of won, and yeah, I guess the world isn't BMF." I'm like, boy, you sitting here on our screens in our faces talking about BMF. So whether you like it or not, sir, the BMF low key won, okay? Versus you in a sense, because we don't know you. And the only reason that we're seeing you is because you're talking of BMF. Hey, Savannah. Hey, boo. Yes. Is he still in jail? Yeah, because don't get me wrong. Like I said, I've been a little out of touch. I've been very busy at work. So I'm aware that Little Meat got arrested for, I guess, I'm going to just say allegedly, just to clear myself. From my understanding, he got caught with a gun. But is he still locked up? Let us sister know. Is he still locked up? Okay. Do I need to print out a free Little Meat shirt? Is he gonna be out before the premiere? Because we don't have time. Hey Monique, how are you? Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, girl. Please continue watching because it's quite interesting. But they also start talking about the crack epidemic and how it affected African American communities. Was pretty much targeted on us, because they mentioned when it comes to charges like racketeering and whatnot, the Italians and the white people was kind of get off and get possibly 20 years versus using CCE for the African American folk and giving us 30 years. And the mobsters were actually really killing folk. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what BMF is connected to in terms of any, harm to any people. It definitely give us, a Gandhi feel when it comes to BMF. So yeah, we already know. Racism all aboard all at the end of the day. Then we have T.I. here. He's pretty much just saying, BMF is a part of the culture. It is of the culture. We hear BMF, Big Meech talked about on a lot of songs. Rick Ross, I think I'm Big Meech. Woo! Larry Hoover. So, we already know that Big Meech is, I would hate to say the face of BMF, but he's definitely, I feel like, people are a little more familiar with Meech versus Terry if you don't follow their specific story. But, they also say that the streets dried up. The clubs wasn't clubbing no more, especially in Detroit. Like, a lot of things tied up. I know some businesses was really probably suffering over there, looking real Players Club-ish with the discount scrippers. Okay. But they had a huge effect. They was definitely, making the economy boom wherever they were. So, yeah. Jacoby said if they pay taxes in some way, I think they will get less years. That may be a fact, but they will also have to prove the money that they're paying the taxes with is legal. And I don't know if they have a way to kind of show they're bringing in legal money that hasn't been, dirty anyway. We see his son is acting, but of course, we're not sure how much he's making, especially not enough to kind of, pay taxes on what they was making. I don't know if they've truly quantified how much they made. I mean, we hear different amounts, but I'm sure whatever they're reporting, they made more. I'm sure of it. Hey Savannah, you said they should have bought dummy business. I mean, yeah, they tried to do the record label. They tried to do the magazine. And I, in a previous episode, I, pretty much stated that they kind of missed the opportunity there. They had people around them or could have found people that really knew, their stuff when it comes to different industries. And Meech was kind of playing around. He didn't have two things that match. He had a record label, but no talent. Okay. You need the talent and the record label. Okay. You gotta, come on. You can't have the peanut butter and no jelly. But it is what it is. Okay. And, we also discussing how BMF really seemingly funded and was very beneficial to a lot of people that we are familiar with. We see Jeezy all the time in this doc. We see Fabolous. When I was doing my light research on Blue Da Vinci, him and Fabolous had some songs together. So he was definitely in that circle. And Yogi, she said, when I think of BMF and the legacy, like we were a family. When you came to BMF, you probably didn't have a family, parents, two-parent household. And when you came to us, you had a car, you had a private school, fun for your children, like you were set up. And I was like, that sounds like a good pitch, but at the end of the day, now you're locked up doing 10 years or so, and now your family is at a probably deeper detriment. So you can look at it how you want to, but I definitely understood her positive viewpoint of the situation. Yes, Kendall, yeah, Nelly and Da Brat was around as well. We saw Lil Scrappy, Bone Crusher. We even saw Kid Capri over there. You know what I'm saying? We saw a lot of people. Hey, Aisha, what's up? How are you? Thank you for coming through. So now we're fast forwarding to kind of current years, 2021, and they're kind of showing clips of 50 Cent introducing the new show BMF and, how it come to play. He said he reached out to Little Meech. He's pretty much a spitting image of his father. And he felt if he didn't grab Little Meech when he did, he would have probably tried to be like his father. I don't know. Just from the outside looking in, to me, it seems like there could be people that just be bad. They just been bad kids and bad people out there. I don't feel like that's Little Meech, but part of me feels like he possibly just feels like he got something to prove based on who his father is. This is not his first time getting in trouble, with the law. So I don't know. Nobody's perfect, especially when you have to live up to such a hype in the name. You sometimes believe the hype in your head. Now, don't get me wrong. It's in the DNA to break the law. He got breaking the law in his DNA, okay? But, I feel as though I just hope he's not out there just trying to get out of his father's shadow. Because, they mentioned he's creating a new legacy, a legal legacy. And, they show him, on a set of BMF just coming to a new path and just saying that, 50 Cent, approached his dad and offered to get him, acting lessons. I've heard this story before on other platforms, but, he mentioned like, hey, 50 Cent, took a chance on me. And I think he's doing a hell of a great job. I love the fact that he's playing his father. I mean, it's just so cool. Just the cheesiness in me. I love the fact that he is definitely portraying his father in his story. But he also, is discussing how, his father was locked up when he was 6. So he would be jealous and had struggles when he would have friends who had 2 parents. And, he pretty much had to visit his dad. They was going up to see him every 3 months. I was like, dang, that's a lot. Because I think he's in Oregon now. I don't know how, I'm sure in the feds, they'd be transporting people from state to state. But at least he consistently was able to see his father. But it's nothing like having your parent there with you, free and whatnot. Jacoby said Little Meech do be tripping. He can't move smarter. Exactly. Like you have a great opportunity ahead of you. Like don't waste it. Please don't. It will be pointless. You got a lot of people probably counting on you. All right. Inga said Little Meech, if he keeps up doing stupid stuff, he will be in prison next to his daddy. And you know how sometimes it be. His daddy could be coming out and he probably going in. His daddy probably looking at him like, you big dummy. Like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here? Please, come on. And the fact that you have a father who's been doing 30 years, that don't make you want to straighten up. But we already know how that cycle is. I mean, it makes sense, but there's a lot of psychological factors that goes into, going different paths than your parents. Because sometimes people end up just like their parents. But I feel like he just have way too much opportunity to not go down that path. Hey, Aisha. I wanted to see Terry so bad at episode 8. Disappointed. Yeah, I was giving up that hope. It just doesn't seem like he's either interested or just don't want to be a part of it. I don't know. I can see it based on like a lot of the commentary from Meech's episode. It seems as though I can see Terry taking a lot of the blame and Meech really just being expressive on how Terry is the blame. Because Meech mentioned, like, I didn't get caught up on what I was doing. I got caught up based on what my brother was doing. Now, I do believe a part of the issue was Meech going out in that whole situation with Wolf. That kind of shined a spotlight. They already had spotlight, but that shined a different level of spotlight on BMF. But the fact that Terry just couldn't throw away the phones. I guess he wasn't watching The Wire back then. Maybe it was too ghetto for him because, Meech was bougie and whatnot, passing the grape upon, had his pinky up and whatnot. But, Meech is very vocal. Like, I went in here for me, bruh. Okay. Yes, Kendall, perpetuating the cycle. Hi, Aisha. You said I just Googled Terry. He's big as hell in 2022. That man eating good. I know. Eating good in the neighborhood. I hope he still got that bread, okay? But they're showing pictures, and Meech is also stating, and commenting about he hated, missing raising his son. Just this picture on the bottom right, Meech just kind of looks. I say you gotta be happy in jail, but just kind of just looks very like sad to me. Oh, sound like a good jail photo, okay? Okay, Meech was like, I'm out here in the gym. I'm not gonna be bored, okay? Okay, I'm gonna be lifting this weights, pumping these irons, okay? But he's saying, going to jail is not the end of his story. He don't regret anything. I'm like, you don't regret anything? I'll regret, Terry, talking too damn much on the phone. But hey, that's his story, okay? But he said everything was a learning experience. His mother, also states that, she hopes that, the acronym BMF can be turned into something positive, regardless if it turns positive or not. Even though, honestly, based on our culture, I feel like BMF is not really a negative thing. When I hear BMF, I don't really, even though what they did was illegal and bad per se, but the phenomenon of BMF, I feel like it's definitely have some sort of positivity on some level, even though we talking about selling the drugs in the Black community, okay? Now that BMF is on the forefront, I bet the guards are mistreating Meech. That's possible too. Extortion, that comes to mind as well. Oh, I see your son over there making coin. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it depends. I don't really know, because some of them could probably have ultra respect for him. I just hope not. I hope not. I'll be seeing kids with BMF change. You do? Are you in Detroit? I feel like you told me where you were, Aisha, but I cannot recall what city you live in. Kendall, you said, look at me all buff with the prison pose. All tatted up and whatnot. Holding on to them cornrows. I see. I ain't mad at you, bruh. But of course, we're at the end. They're kind of giving us updates. I'll just read it. It says on May 5th, 2020, Terry Flannery was released from prison on a compassionate release due to medical conditions that put him at risk of death due to COVID-19. COVID was letting people free, child. I know people was like, ooh, yay, COVID. Yay, COVID. All right. They was probably submitting them paperwork. Like, them them lawyers was tired, all right? But they was getting that work though, so I know they weren't mad. But they said Demetrius was denied his appeal for a compassionate release. Demetrius is still serving his sentence at the Federal Detention Center in Sheridan, Oregon. His release date is May 5th, 2029, which is funny because Terry got released on May 5th, 2020, and Meech's release date is May 5th, 2029. Now, don't quote me, but I do remember hearing rumblings that Meech hasn't had the best behavior per se in prison, allegedly, which is why he didn't get like a reduction in his sentence, or went ahead of the parole hearing or what have you. So I heard that a few times, so I'm not sure how true that is, but I could probably believe it, child. Kendall, you said, I wonder if there will be a big party when Meech is fighting police. I'm sure he got to make up for about 20 something years, okay? 20 something years. Oh, he probably to the point, I mean, he'd be about 60 something, child, and maybe at the bingo hall. Child gonna be at the bingo hall. They gotta lay it on him real slow and steady. Don't be, especially now with the BBL community. We don't need that man, Lord forbid, knock on wood. We don't need to get no heart attack, child. Let that man, just ease him on to the thickness. You know what I'm saying? Get like a slim, like a Sierra. Then, you work your way up. Sierra, maybe like a Lala. Then they'll go on to like a big booty Judy or something. You need to transition, okay? You can't just, nah. Slow and steady, okay? Maybe not pop a bottle. Do, some slow shots or something, okay? Like, we don't need Meech over here passing out after this first hour of party. You got to ease on in. All right? Let's see. Aisha, you said, I don't want that mama to die out. That's going to break Meech's heart. I want her to be one of those aunties that live on to be 102. Yeah. I don't know why. She was giving me like health concern problems. I hope she doesn't have any, but I don't know if it's just maybe just her just being sad and going through a lot with her son's imprisonment. But she, I don't know. If Meech is in his 50s and Meech and Terry, she got to be in her 70s though, but that don't mean nothing, child, because we be healthy. So she's most definitely, can have another 30 years of living. I hope so, because that definitely would be heartbreaking. They're gonna be popping bottles for real. Yes. Jacoby said Meech probably a boss in there. I believe so. I mean, talk about clout. I don't know how much more clout you can ever get. Like, he on 11, level 1,000 when it comes to clout. I mean, I don't know what bigger name you can really have out on these streets, or I should say in the cells. Okay. Kendall, he says clubs don't say we back. Oh God. Making Good done left her past her husband. Her and Meech can no, we don't need no more sneaky links now. We already got to deal with Monica and C Murder. And this situation they be having, off and on. Like, we can't do no more prison love. No love after lockup, love during lockup. We don't need none of that. Let Megan find her a nice, good, wholesome, clean man. Okay, well, I don't think she want wholesome, probably, You want a little bit of bad. She done had, quote unquote, wholesome, and that didn't work out. But I want to be mad at it though. I ain't gonna lie. Meech, she's still out there, trying to keep his appearance up. So I ain't gonna be mad. She probably could be writing him letters. I mean, well, they be having email and FaceTime and stuff in jail now. So I'm sure he got some privileges. But y'all, that was pretty much it, You've seen the circle of life occurring with, Big Meech having his journey, and we seeing his son, portray his journey on television. Like, this is the movie in itself. So I'm definitely expecting Meech, getting out and getting some things. I'm not sure what Terry is up to. I'm sure he's definitely keeping a low profile. That man probably so scarred. He probably don't even want to talk on the phone right now in this day and age. He don't want to talk on the phone, no messages, no emails. He don't want to send no pigeons with no messages. I'm sure he is scarred for life with any form of communication, okay? But the main qualms I did have about the documentary was, one, I wanted more of Meech just discussing the negativity or any negative things that he felt during his process. Like I said, he kind of touched on, or they touched on, him just being able to sleep at night, just dealing with certain things mentally, being paranoid. So I wanted him to kind of talk on it, but maybe he's not at a point where he wants to or is comfortable doing so. And I also wanted Terry to kind of give his input, but we didn't get that. I'm not sure if I was really expecting it or not. But hey, maybe he's scarred and don't want to communicate at all. And I understand. You probably have Meech reminding you every waking second that he's up in there because you can't get off the damn phone. Oh God, Aisha, that man, youngster, that's portraying Terry on the show. It's fine. Tall, handsome, and chocolate. Yes, his name is Da Vinci. Yes. Mm-hmm. There was some rumors that him and Lala were dating. I don't think they're dating anymore. If they did, they were kind of spotted out at a basketball game about a year or so ago, and they was kind of getting on her for being a cougar. But I'm like, child, let her live her life, child. Hey, Kenzo, you said this was a good documentary. Wish we could have heard T's point of view. Now he don't want to talk. That's pretty much why it all went down. Exactly. Come on now. Y'all went down because you was talking too much. So come on, make this money and talk too much like you really want to do. Come on, talk and got you into this. Now, let's talk and get you out of this in terms of income and revenue streams. Okay. Yes, I wouldn't be mad at Lala either. Okay. No, Da Vinci, I first got familiar with him on All American. I'm not sure if any of y'all watched All American. I kind of stopped after a few seasons because this is getting too cheesy for me. But I first knew him from All American. So it was kind of cool to see him transition and kind of show his range because he went from playing like a football player to now a drug dealer. So it was definitely good seeing that versatility out of him. But that was pretty much it. I'll stick around for another minute or so to see if you have anything else y'all want to talk about. But please, I want y'all to kind of rate this documentary for me. Give it an A, B, C, D, or F based on my drug entrepreneur classification ranking scale. Okay, so let me know y'all grades since we are done with all 8 episodes. Okay, before y'all get out of here, I'm gonna read y'all comments. You say I heard T's working on BMF strain of marijuana. Ooh, that would be dope. Why not? That would definitely be dope. I mean, everybody's pretty much getting their own strain at this point in time, so that would be a good revenue. The weed is weeding, okay? It is definitely selling. Kendall, you give it an A. I'm probably gonna give it a B plus. Because they jumped around a lot in certain episodes. It wasn't as congruent and cohesive as I thought it should be. And I feel like we're missing a lot of data. And, certain episodes were better than others. I mean, call me picky or asking for too much. I'm sorry. But I'm going to give it a B. Kenzo and Aisha, y'all give it an A. Okay, that's good. Y'all really enjoyed it. Well, like I said, I just wanted Meech to kind of delve in a little more into the vulnerable side. Okay, but maybe we ain't there yet. Okay, I ain't there. All right. And I wanted T's account, but I did like the fact they included a lot of people that were there. Firsthand accounts and documentaries, I feel like are pivotal and very important. So I'm glad that we had Yogi. Okay, Yogi, 10 toes down, boo-boo. So she's forever invited to the cookout. All right. We had the sister, we had mom, a lot of BMF members. You know, we had a lot of celebrities, 2 Chainz, T.I., 50 Cent, White Boy Rick. So we had a lot of people, you know, commenting. And I also love the fact we had, you know, IRS agents, DA agents, we had the lawyers. So we definitely got a lot of people involved to tell their side of the story, to kind of make it one big story. So I did love that. And I love the fact that we have so much footage of BMF that's definitely gold and priceless. So yeah, it was definitely fire. But yes, please check me out. Of course, I will be reviewing the show, season 2. I'm going to try to put something together to get us more familiar and refamiliar. Okay, I'm creating another word if that ain't a word. On season 1 of BMF, because yeah, I'm sure there's some things we forgot. So I'm definitely going to be rewatching that shortly. But yeah, if you watch Power, please check out the review I did earlier today, season 3, episode 6. Of course, every Wednesday, 8:15, reviewing Power. Trying to work on a few movie reviews. Thank you for guys for being understanding for me, because you know I got a new schedule temporarily, so I'm trying to work out the kinks with the lives and the new schedule and the holidays, child. It's a lot, okay? It's definitely a lot. But bear with me, okay? Aisha said, am I following the Tory Lane case? Yes and no. I listen to a lot of commentary on YouTube. So the people that I subscribe to that are commenting on the case, I pretty much follow through what they tell me, because they're pretty credible. You know, they, you know, have great sources. So actually, I was in the middle of listening to part of that before I got on live. So I'm gonna get back to it while I, you know, do a couple of chores and things around the house. Before, you know, it's night for your girl. But yes, it's a whole big mess. It's a whole big mess, y'all. Kendall, you said I don't like the white guy with the bandana trying to flex like he was the man. Yes, Rand, the assistant DA. At first, he didn't bother me, but as time went on, I'm like, I don't know. It's like you could tell he really got his rocks off when it came to this. But then at the end, you're going to try to downplay, oh, I guess the world wasn't BMF. I'm like, boy, we're going to remember BMF before we remember you. And the only reason why we know you is because you're talking about BMF. So there's that, okay? Somebody go get another billboard of BMF put up by all the police stations and the Fed buildings in Atlanta, okay? Hurt their feelings again. Oh, gosh. Hey, Kendall, yes, love and light, hugs and kisses to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all like the video. And I appreciate all of you guys. I'm thankful for all of y'all. I know Thanksgiving over, but I definitely want to always take the opportunity to tell you how much I appreciate you guys for listening and following your girl, okay? Enjoy the rest of y'all week. Have a great weekend, and I will see y'all soon. Toodles.